Hey, this is Ben Solomon, and welcome to this episode of the Techno Leadership Show. So, welcome to season 5. It's been an interesting journey doing over 100 episodes and releasing them almost every day for 100 odd days. The initial idea was to have a 90-day content blitz of sorts where I'd pretty much do a brain dump of everything that's helped me in my journey from a tech professional to a tech manager and then to a tech exec, and hopefully be a base for people who are interested in making that sort of a transition from a tech professional, engineering professional into a tech manager, engineering manager, and then tech exec or engineering exec in different fields. Yes, there are subtle nuances that might change between fields, and which is where I've tried to keep most things principles based, as I said at the end of season 4. Keeping it principles based means you can take hold of the principles and then shape it, utilize that as a foundation to build on your strategy and your tactics for your situation in whatever field you might be in. So now in this episode, just want to cover how we can bring a human touch to technology solutions. In the desire to go completely automated, tech-based, and bring in efficiencies in businesses, we've in some sense lost the human touch. There are opposites to this. Like, I heard someone recently talking about a particular bank going from having bank tellers to now having personalized service, which means like you go and sit with someone, and then it's increased the time it takes for someone to make a quick deposit or do a quick withdrawal or get something that is a quick job done, which a teller would have been able to get done in a minute, couple of minutes, whatever it might be. Whereas here, the person had to wait for 30 or 40 minutes to really get service for just making a deposit. Understanding that at the end of the day, there are things where you need automation, technology to make it more efficient, effective, as well as giving your customer a great experience. And then there are other areas where you need the human touch to give your customer the best experience. And all of this comes back to your customer. Knowing what your customer, whether you're in tech leadership or whatever area of life you're in, and you're in charge of putting in solutions in place, look at the customer. When you start from the customer and their experience with your business in mind, the decisions you make with where technology is going to get the higher priority and where human touch is going to get the higher priority can be decided. So in this case, having a teller or even a ATM to do quick deposits and things like that would mean it makes the life of customers easier. Whereas when they needed to get a home loan or get a personal loan, do something that's a bit more elaborate, having that personal touch means the person who is giving, the banker who is giving the personal touch, can give them better advice, can help them guide the customer to a better decision. That's not needed for someone who's making a deposit. There's nothing in wanting to make a deposit that needs any advice or any guidance or anything of that sort. You can have a smart ATM where you can go in and do a deposit, or you can have a bank teller where you can go do the deposit and move on. And it takes, maybe if you have a crowded lunchtime, you might take 10 minutes to get to the teller and make the deposit. Whereas this person it took them 45 minutes to get someone to help them to make what would have been a 1 minute deposit into the bank account and move on. That is not giving your customer the best possible experience. So finding that balance between the two is very important in every decision that we make. And then bringing human touch in other areas is having a help desk of sorts, having a front face for the technology department, even if it's one person, where someone else can go and support. One of your system admins or network admins could potentially be on a roster to support them if needed, depending on the volumes that you're getting. But that gives a friendly face to the tech department sitting behind them. And that also means creating a sense of environment that people find it friendlier and more approachable to reach out to tech staff where needed. The other thing that you can do, something that I've personally did as much as possible, is when someone has an issue that is due to a lack of understanding of how something works, and they come to the help desk and they go, look, this is causing me a lot of anxiety. I've gone through training that's there and all of that, but still it's causing me a lot of stress. And in those instances, I've personally, when I was working as a tech manager in that stage and then later as tech director, I've gone to the customer from my office and said, look, let's go aside, let's take a few minutes, let me help you. And that personal touch that they get with me sitting with them and walking them through, helping them figure out where they can improve their processes and how they can most effectively utilize the system, meant it gave them confidence. It gave them a feel of, I can approach the technology team and they will, as much as possible, dedicate some time to support me to ensure that we get the best possible outcome. And because this particular person wasn't the most tech savvy person, but someone who was always willing to give it a good try, once I sat with them and showed them how to use the system, and they gained confidence because I got them to do it a few times while I was sitting next to them so that they could make sure that they got their process right and they could confidently navigate the system. Once that happened, they became an advocate for the technology team, an evangelist, went out and spoke to other staff in the organization, said, hey, you know what? Ben came, sat down with me and showed me this, and now I know exactly how to do this. And then that person also went along and helped other people, which meant there was less help desk calls that came in. There was less anxiety and less, difficulties that the other staff had. This is how we can be of impact. Yes, it takes us 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes of our time. Yes, it's when we're busy, it's difficult. But if we dedicate that time to help some of our customers who are having the most difficulty, then there is a higher likelihood that they spread the message saying, look, these guys are friendly, they actually care about what we do, and they want us to be able to be self-reliant. And the people who then become evangelists also then go and help others, which means it improves that overall perception of the technology team, of what we do, and how we support them. Human touch, it just takes a little bit of effort and time to get so much more impact. But it's finding that balance of knowing where do you give human touch and where do you utilize technology as the first point. You'd have documentation, wikis that you can send people to as a first point of contact there. But with the proviso that, look, for if any reason you are not able to get this right and you need any help, come and talk to us. And you can book a time with them and work with them. And it's all about increasing the confidence of the people that we're working with, whether that's external customers or internal customers. At the end of the day, what we do is in service, and the technology that we put is in service, and the human touch that we put in is also in service of the bigger outcome of customer experience. And knowing where to use the human touch and where to use the technology is an important distinction that we need to make, and that gives us the biggest outcomes and leverage possible. So hopefully that helps you out. I wish you all the best in your journey as a tech professional, manager, and leader. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button so that you're notified of future episodes as they are released. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions or feedback, please leave a comment below the video as well. Thank you and have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you in a future episode.